In the manic shooter genre, there are many great games. Dodonpachi, Nostradamus, and even the original Space Invaders, to name a few. But depending on who you talk to, the shoot 'em up genre, as it is known today, originated from a single game, Batsugun. Released in 1993 into arcades, this shoot 'em up developed by Toaplan is basically the forerunner and is responsible for creating the shoot 'em up genre in arcades and on the home market. It's very simple overall in terms of comparing it to shooters nowadays, but things overall were very simple back in the early 90s to begin with. The storyline is simple enough. An alien force is attacking Earth, so an elite mercenary group called the Skull Hornets are sent to stop them. The group pilots special fighter jets that fly both in the air and underwater. Don't ask me how jets work underwater. Who cares? You have the choice between 3 aircraft, pink, blue, and orange. Each has a different weapon firing pattern. Speaking of weapons, Batsugun features what might possibly be the most weapon leveling in any shoot 'em up I've played. There's 3 main power levels with 5 smaller weapon levels within. You notice the progression of your firepower increasing as the game progresses because it gets bigger and more complex. You also have the standard bomb which wipes out everything on screen. The scoring mechanics are very simple as well. Just collect different V-shaped medals to increase your score. The graphics are actually really good for the time, with enemy ships, bosses, and background items being very detailed. Now, obviously the main way to play this game nowadays is with MAME, but the funny thing is, for years and years, there was no music, and very little if any sound effects. I didn't mind playing it like this because it was still a lot of fun, but it's weird to play it again now, with the emulation being complete. For those interested, basically, it didn't have music or sound effects for so long because I believe it was the emulation of the sound chip from the game for some reason ran into obstacles or just never was completed for many, many years. Just a few years ago, I believe they finally finished the sound emulation for that specific game. It's also interesting to note that this being the forerunner for the shoot 'em up genre, that ironically, a decent chunk of Toaplan's employees went on to form Cave once Toaplan went under. The game itself really isn't that difficult. Most of the time I get killed because I'm not paying attention. Now, besides the standard version of Batsugun, Toaplan did release a special edition version of the game, entitled Special Version. I've never played it, but apparently it's a longer game with higher difficulty and added scoring mechanics. Like most other shooters, it's composed of 5 levels. You make your way battling enemies, blowing stuff up, and then you have a big boss to face at the end of each one. That's pretty much it, really. It's pretty much an early 90s shoot 'em up game, you know, like Raiden or... what's the other one? I can't think of it right now. Overall, Batsugun is a really fun game, even after 22 years. And it shows just how much talent some of the Cave guys had when they first started making shooters. If you've never played it, I would highly recommend it, as it is considered a hallmark title in the shoot 'em up community. Thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, go check it out.